Okay, just a really quick follow-up on my post about voice and steno yesterday, because there's a history here that you guys aren't, love my hair, you guys aren't aware of, maybe, unless you've been reporting as long as some of us have. Back in the olden days, past pen writing, but before computers, I think I mentioned that we would take everything down in stenotype and then go back to our office with a dictaphone that had a little flip switch on the handle of the mic, and you would turn it on and you would dictate, question by Mr. Smith, where did you live? Interrog. Answer, none of your business. Preed. Question, and why do you think it's none of my business? Interrog. Answer, because it is, exclamation mark maybe. But you had to dictate every word, every speaker, all the punctuation, everything. And that preed was a way of telling your typist that it's a period and not the word period. This is what voice writers are doing today. Funny how that works. Let me go back to dictating. So you'd go through the whole thing, you'd dictate, sometimes you'd dictate it wrong. You had to back it up and do it again. You'd get it all down, you'd send it off to a typist. Not a transcriptionist necessarily, we just called them typists. They were typing on a typewriter. That's how old some of us are. And then it would come back and you would proofread it. And God help you if there was any major mistakes, because we're not talking on the computer, you can change it. We're talking, several copies with carbon paper in between, and you try to fit the mistakes on the paper. And then you get your final transcript and however many copies you've got, and you collate them out and you bind them and you build them and on to the next job. Somebody, I'm talking in the late 70s, early 80s, said to me brilliantly, I didn't understand at the time, and I didn't know where we'd evolve to, but he said to me, wouldn't it be interesting if, he didn't know about voice writers back east doing whatever the hell they were doing, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, but wouldn't it be interesting if we could sit in the courtroom with something over our mouth so nobody could hear us, but instead of taking it all down and then going and dictating it all out, we could just dictate it all out as it was coming along. Save a whole step. Because literally, if I had to sit in court for, I don't know, say 3 hours, it would probably take me 4 or 5 hours to dictate what I had just taken down. And then it took about another twice or to 3 times as long for it to be typed up and come back. It was a long process. So some of the evolution, some of the not seeing the rates go up for our pages was because our skills were improving. Computer came along. We didn't have to dictate anymore. There was time saved. We made more money for the time we were spending doing what we were doing. But wouldn't it have been interesting if we could have just dictated what was happening in the courtroom precisely enough, fast enough to get an absolutely as accurate a transcript as we were with steno, just in less time. When he was talking, I thought, well, that's crazy. Why would I do that? I mean, yeah, I don't like having to go home and dictate it all, but I'm not having to be frantic about getting every word and repeating every word precisely with the punctuation and everything that I need to do when and sometimes with the dictation, you'd stop and you'd say, Lori or typist, note. And then you'd talk to them about, I just realized that I misdictated something back about, 25 minutes ago. it was supposed to be this, not that, or I just realized what they're saying, or you're going to need to look this up, which meant if it was a drug, you called a pharmacist. You got the yellow pages. We had walls of reference books because there was no internet. Okay, this is probably way more history than you want to know, but isn't it interesting that for steno, there came a time, thank you, independent programmers, when there were software programs that could read our binary on-off system of writing. Either the key is pressed down or the key is not pressed down, and that's binary. And it was out of 22 keys and what is it, 4 million combinations of strokes. Those are all binary. Either the key is down or the key is up, and that gives the computer the information it needs to decide what that means in English. Way over my head, way above my pay grade. But somewhere along the line, and we had no audio backup. There was a time when people would use little tiny tape recorders with a long cord and a microphone and try to conceal it so that we had an audio backup, but nobody was looking at us recording it, because God forbid they see us recording it, because if we're recording it, then why wouldn't they record it? Well, what do they need us for? Now we have a recording of everything. Because in the 70s, we had cassette players. You could play a cassette tape, but that's all you could do. You could not record. That was a new thing. And in the late 70s, I guess it was in the early 70s, but when tape recording became a thing, there was a panic. Like, why are they going to need a stenographer? Why are they going to need us? You know, why wouldn't they just record it and have somebody else type it? And that's the age. That's what we're looking at again now, but with the addition of the software voice recognition bullshit, trying to get, I don't know, is it 75%, 85% of what it's hearing? And even of the stuff it's hearing, it's not getting it right. I mean, you know, look at your phone, right? Sometimes you're trying to, and this is the thing that's driving me crazy, is that whatever, I don't know if it's AI or whatever it is on my phone that's using voice recognition, it's taking what I dictate and it's punctuating it ridiculously. And then I got to change it and fix it. And then I can finally send the damn message out. And once it goes into the ethers, it's still editing what I just did. So sometimes I'll dictate a post, I'll use the audio and dictate a post, and then I'm looking at it like, that is not how I punctuated that. And it makes me mad because punctuation was my nemesis in court reporting school. And I take great pride in the fact that I actually should know how to punctuate a damn sentence. And when it turns around, because it's learning, it's trying to learn where the commas go. And so it's like a brand new reporter that was not very good at grammar. It's throwing commas in everywhere. And it'll make you mad, like crazy mad. So what are voice writers doing? They are doing the thing that my colleagues suggested back in the 70s. Wouldn't it be interesting if we could just skip the dictation part and go directly to an audio recording, a dictation of what happened, so then we could go send it to a typist? Except now there is software available through the very companies that do the stenotype computer programs. So it's all the same thing. It's CaseCat doing it. It's Eclipse doing it. I'm not going to name the other ones because they're doing it within the system that does steno. They're doing voice also. It's just a different method. And there are days when I'm sitting there and it's slow enough and I'm saying the words in my head, and I'm realizing, oh my God, I could do this. I could do this and put the punctuation in exactly the way I want it to come out perfectly on the screen, just like I do when I'm doing stenotype, except when they start talking too fast, I'm like, yeah, I can capture the words, but I can't imagine doing the punctuation and the nuances and the intricacies that you would have to do with voice. It is a skill. And if it wasn't a difficult skill, then I don't know, there'd be more people doing it, whatever, different video. But they are doing the thing with the advent of voice recognition software with Dragon professional version, which is what, $5,000 now, that it can identify your speech, but it doesn't know how to punctuate. You got to do that. That's something that's got to be done by the voice operator. And I need people to chime in because I don't know enough about voice to know if I'm actually saying this correctly. But, and I don't need, I mean, I'm a stenotype reporter. I don't need voice, but I might learn just because I want to know what are they doing. And I'm trying to, what we're doing here on Magic for Court Reporters is trying to get people certified out in the field and working. I don't focus on practice. I don't focus on theory or anything else. I focus on why aren't you getting out? What is it psychologically that's holding you back? How can you think about what you're doing differently that will get you different results? And it is magic. It's the thing that works, and we don't know how it works. Well, I do because it's neuroscience. But it's magic until you really know why it works. You just know that it does. We're trying to get people certified. That's the name of the game. Either you are reporting in an area where you don't have to be certified, and good for you, or you're in an area where you need to be certified to be able to work and make money. That's what I'm about here. It is either you're certified or you're not certified. And I don't care how you're doing it. I don't care. I just want people out in the field working. I want people certified out in the field working so that this bullshit shortage that is actually not as big of a shortage as the tech industry would like the rest of the world to believe, because I think it was a misallocation of resources. There were reporters out there that were available, but if you like, Cover Crow is trying to be that bridge, that there's reporters available, that there are jobs that need to be covered, and that's a bridge that can help do that. When COVID came along and we all had to go online on Zoom, all of a sudden, there were reporters in outlying areas that could cover a job in downtown LA, downtown San Francisco. Boom, we have less of a shortage. It wasn't a shortage, it was an allocation of resources. Everything is not like it seems out there. And I can only tell you what I'm seeing because I'm still learning every single day. So for those of you who hated my video, don't shoot the messenger. I did not like making that video, but I felt like it was something that needed to be said. And so it's said, it's done, and I can go on to something else. I just wanted you guys to have a little bit more background on the evolution of what you're seeing and why there are some of us that are like deep in the back part of your mind, old reporters, you remember when you had to sit and dictate into the wee hours of the night to send the transcript off to a typist so that you could get a couple hours of sleep and go back to, and report again. And you remember there's got to be that moment where somebody in your realm of existence said, wouldn't it be nice if we could just go directly to the dictating part? So at the end of your court day, it was all dictated and ready to go to a typist. That saved a lot. That would have saved a lot of time. We just want, I don't know, I just want to show up in a profession that I love and produce the best product I can because I love this profession. This was not a job. This was a calling. And I don't know about all the esoteric things involved in that, except that something deep inside me knew this is what I was supposed to do. And I've been doing it since July of 1979. And very few moments have I said, I don't love this. I can't stand it and I'm walking away. I love what I do. I love this profession. I don't know where it's going next, but if we stand together as certified, honorable, reputable professionals, if we stand together, nobody can divide us. I love you guys. Take care. I got to go answer my door.